Morning. Welcome to a fresh edition of your breakfast show on Leadership Television Inside Nigeria. Inside Nigeria is a breakfast show where we discuss front headline stories of some select national newspapers, including leadership. We also have the second part of the program where we throw light conversations on some topical issues. My name is Winifred Ubebo. Today is Tuesday, June 24, 2025. We head up to leadership and see what leadership has on its cover this day. Leadership's leading story says 2027 as Tinubu's aide Baba Ahmed observes cracks, slams coalition. Babachilawa says no time for new party. Will unite under one political party, coming from El-Rufai. Leading story today, leadership, Tuesday, June 24, 2025. 2027 as Tinubu's aide Baba Ahmed observes cracks, slams coalition. Babachilawa says no time for new party. Will unite other one political party, El-Rufai. Kickers to the leading story on leadership newspaper. Gunmen hijack Benue links bus, abduct all passengers. Story runs on page 18 of leadership. Flutterwave powers business growth in Cameroon with fully licensed payment services. Constituency project, source of legislative corruption, Agora policy. Constituency project, source of legislative corruption. 19-year-old Nigerian unveils app to disrupt global chat space. The story continues on page 9 of leadership. 19-year-old Nigerian unveils app to disrupt global chat space. That is kudos to Nigeria. It's not all negative news all the time. Still on leadership newspaper, the photo gracing the cover today has President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, APC National Chairman Dr. Umar Ganduje, and Minister of State FCT Dr. Maria Mahmood during the commissioning of newly constructed road from A2 Junction Abuja to Lokoja Road to Pai Town Kwali Area Council FCT yesterday. Congratulations to the Minister of FCT. We move towards the masthead of leadership. Federal government files fresh cybercrime charge against Senator Natasha. The story runs on page 9 of leadership newspaper. Federal government files fresh cybercrime charge against Senator Natasha. And on the business boss of leadership, Iran-Israel war, increased airfare, flight cancellations, suspense loom. Flights from Nigeria face disruptions as Qatar closes airspace. However, this is too soon because as at the time yesterday night, there was a call for ceasefire from President Trump, which both parties have already acceded to. So there's ceasefire in the war between Iran and Israel. Thousands of airline passengers on the Middle East aviation corridor are bracing for an increase in airfare. Unfortunately, that has been aborted. And now presently, the fear of the price of crude in global market has also dropped by 5%. Moving towards above the masthead of leadership, hunger, poverty, catalyst for insecurity in Nigeria, coming from the National Security Advisor and Chief of Defense Staff. Hunger, poverty, catalyst for insecurity in Nigeria. This is also a leading story in other papers we have on our lineup. NNPC raises petrol pump prices in Abuja, Lagos. I hope soon they will also reduce it, given the fact that the crude price has dropped in international markets. We move to page 3 of leadership, where we have permanent page as stand. Today's page is on as the Middle East boys again. As the Middle East boys again. Today's stand in leadership. From the stand, we move to the back page where we have Tuesday column with Abdurrauf Aliyu. Today is writing on framing leadership, Kadina's news story. Framing leadership, Kadina's news story. Ubasani's campaign under the Sustain Agenda slogan was marketed as a continuation of El-Rufai's policies. Quote from Tuesday's column with Abdurrauf Aliyu. Before we leave the back page, let's go to Ghana Must Go. Ghana Must Go. Tinubu says Africa's industrial revolution can be fast-tracked. And Ghana Must Go ask, through Jakpa. Over to you, President Bola Tinubu, for that answer. It's on that note we conclude the review of review of Leadership newspaper this Tuesday. For more, don't forget to log into the website of Leadership newspaper. From Leadership, we move to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is THISDAY. THISDAY says Tinubu launches 2,000 tractors to drive agricultural revolution. Inaugurates 15-kilometer road in Kwali Area Council. Says rural connectivity necessary to drive national growth, prosperity. Underneath that leading story, Wale Edun, federal government generated 6.9 trillion naira revenue in first quarter 2025. Trump announces end to 12-day Israel-Iran war. The story continues on page 10 of this day, is what I mentioned earlier. Now there's a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, putting an end to the 12-day war. And that concludes review of front headline stories on this day, this Tuesday. For more, don't forget to log into the website of this day. As we move to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is Vanguard. Vanguard says hunger, poverty, now security threats coming from NSA and SDC. Like I mentioned earlier, it's also a leading story in some of the papers we have on our lineup. Moving ahead, we move to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune's leading stories. Akere dey lose wife under government palace trade wars over demolition of Owo Church massacre monument. Akere dey lose wife under government palace trade wars over demolition of Owo Church massacre monument. I saw the story in another paper we have on our lineup. Is a request by the palace Olowo in council. No communication on the development. Church, we are respecting tradition under government. Kickers to that leading story on Nigerian Tribune. Akere dey lose wife under government palace trade wars over demolition of Owo Church massacre monument. Is a request by the palace Olowo in council. No communication on the development. Church, we are respecting tradition under government. Iran launches missiles at US base in Qatar. Alleged $7.2 billion fraud. EFCC arrest SNNPC's chief financial officer as Warri Refinery MD. The story continues on page 27 of Nigerian Tribune. Incidentally, that story also graced the cover of other papers we have on our lineup this Tuesday. Leading story, the last leading story on the cover of Nigerian Tribune 2024, Dangote Cement spends 13.2 billion naira on CSR, pays 502.6 billion naira as dividends. The story continues on page 4 of Nigerian Tribune 2024, Dangote Cement spends 13.2 billion naira on CSR, that is a corporate social responsibility, pays 502.6 billion naira as dividends. That concludes the review of front headline stories on Nigerian Tribune this Tuesday. Don't forget to log into the website of Nigerian Tribune for continuation of those headline stories. We move ahead to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian's leading story today says NUC flood process, fake disclosure, raw causes, varsities, accreditations. NUC flood process, fake disclosure, raw causes, varsities, accreditations. The story continues on page 6 of the paper. We have academic content, staffing, physical facilities, funding, library, employers rating. These are the issues or the guidelines guiding registration of universities. NUC flood process, false disclosure, raw causes, varsities, accreditations. Leading story on The Guardian this Tuesday. Abuja safe, no cause for alarm. Federal government assures amid US travel warning. PDP chiefs dismiss ADA coalition as weak attempt to oust Tinubu. Casualties from Plateau killings rise to 22. Insecurity, Tinubu urged to investigate alleged complicity of security chiefs. June 12, Yoruba group Aneni accused Lamido Onanuga of distorting history. Of course, there seems to be no end in sight for the controversies generating over June 12. Yoruba group Aneni accused Lamido Onanuga of distorting history. This story continues on page 4 of The Guardian. From there, we move towards the masthead. Reaction straight demolition of Owo Church massacre victims cenotaph. Reaction straight demolition of Owo Church massacre victims cenotaph. African leaders, activists hinge political apathy on bad leadership. EFCC arrests NNPC chiefs over alleged $7.2 billion fraud. These are stories gracing the cover of The Guardian this Tuesday. For more, don't forget to log in to the website of The Guardian. Well, viewers, is on this note to conclude today's Inside Nigeria breakfast show on Leadership Television. Unfortunately, we cannot take the second half of the program. Our guest is unavoidably absent. So my name is Winifred Ugbebo. I look forward to having you same station, same time for another fresh edition of the program Inside Nigeria tomorrow. Don't also forget to join us on this same station for news on the hour. Thanks for joining us.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country. Discover Turkey through education. The culture-rich country of Turkey, which has hosted a myriad of civilization throughout the centuries, is a global pioneer in education. Turkey offers various lucrative opportunities for students. Despite its quality living standards, the cost of living in Turkey is affordable compared to other European countries. A diploma from globally recognized and renowned universities in Turkey will open every door for you. For more information, visit leadership.ng/study in Turkey. Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last word.